Good morning, guys. It's true. I'm going to draw all over this fun painting. And I'm going to show you with a quick little video how we do this painting too. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I'm here to help you find a little bit of peace in your day. We're going to doodle on a painting. I painted this on Monday's video, and I'm going to show you in just a second how to paint this with a little recap video. I'm trying something new. It's going to be interesting. Welcome everyone who's coming into the live stream. I am so honored and grateful that you're here and that you have chosen to spend some time with me today. And if you're here after the live stream, I welcome you too, because sometimes life gets in the way and we have to find ways to fit our creativity in when we can. And if I'm the one that's helping you get to be more creative, that just makes it even more special for me. Thank you. And I am really excited to get started on here. I have, a couple little things. One, there's not going to be an actual giveaway in today's video for the general population. I do have to paint and draw a few things to be able to give to my patrons. So this one's going to be going in the patron giveaway pile. If you're interested, I do have a Patreon. Information is down below in the more information box. I also, for my patrons, they have a copy of this exact background already over on Patreon in our general conversation. I popped a copy of this picture so they can print it out and doodle right along with me. Little perks. But these videos are always going to be free. And if you want to know when more videos go up, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. I have some special treats coming up for my whole channel. So, yay. All right, guys, welcome, welcome. I love that we have people from all over the world showing up. What we are going to do, first up, is I'm going to show you the painting of this actual painting. It was done during the live stream on Monday, and I clipped out I took out the talking. I'm just going to talk over it. So we have a 1-inch flat wash brush, and we are going to get the whole background wet with water, just plain water from that mason jar that's up there in the corner. We are getting it completely wet. I'm using the Arteza half pan watercolor set, and that same brush, I'm going to get the watercolors wet with just a spritz of water from an old lens cleaner. Now I'm taking all the blues. I'm just getting the Prussian blue and the cobalt blue and the ultramarine blue, everything together. And since the paper is wet, it's going to drift and run through, and it gives us this lovely cloudy effect. It also makes a lovely underwater effect too. So you've got all kinds of things that you can do with that. Then we're going to pick up some, we're going to pick up the actual painting and let it drift. All right. And then we're going to grab some yellow ochre and some burnt sienna and a touch of burnt umber, just getting kind of the brown naturally tones. And we're going to put those, look at this, willy-nilly, just across the bottom third-ish of the painting. And by doing that and letting it go in sort of that willy-nilly sort of stage, we can have this lovely sand dune, grassy dunes. This is very, very reminiscent of the beach sides here in Washington and in Oregon, where we have these long grasses, the dunes, and then you go down onto the regular flat beach. although our flat beach is a little more rocky sometimes, depending on where you are. Now I just took some burnt umber and a touch of black because I really wanted that dark ground to hold on to the painting, really weight it down. And that's it. That's how we paint the background. And then you let it dry completely before you start to do your doodling. I'm going to be doodling with an Eco pen. This is, let's go ahead and go into a closer view. The Eco pen is a cardboard tube and it comes with this little black cap. Keep the little black cap. It protects your tip and it keeps it from drying out. So it's really nice. Whoops! As long as you don't drop it on the floor. Then it starts looking like bugs. Little bugs all over the floor. Especially after you've gotten a few of these. There we go. So what it is a standard rollerball tube, but the ink, I like to think this ink is almost magic. It flows so nicely from the pen. Let's see. It flows in such a, whoops, there we go. It flows nicely from the pen. Let's see if we can get a different view. Proof on watercolor paper. So there you go. All right. Yeah, so many people have bought the Eco pens. If you're interested, I have an affiliate link for Amazon down below, and the Eco pens are listed in my Amazon store. So if you're going to be starting a shopping trip to Amazon anyway, if you click on one of my links and go to Amazon, it will give me a finder's fee, basically, so that I can earn a little bit of money in a very easy way. Doesn't add anything to what you're spending, but it does give me a few pennies. Now I found, look at this. Okay, so there's our background we just did. And this is a fun photograph that I found on Unsplash. And I did not get this photo put onto my my brain here. I'm trying to brighten this up just a little bit. There we go. I did not get it put onto the screen as a reference, but it is linked down below as a reference, so you can go and pull this up. I really like this because it says kindred spirit, and I think that you guys are all my kindred spirits, aren't you? You are out here doing all kinds of creativity, you're exploring, and that's what I'm doing. I'm exploring my creativity, and you guys are my kindred spirits on this journey. So I am going to actually do a little practice of this mailbox. Who would think that a mailbox would be sitting out in the middle of a sand dune? But what this is like one of those places where you can hide a rock and people open up the mailbox and there's, kindness rocks are hidden inside of places like this, or little notebooks or cards, random acts of kindness or random acts of art can be stuck inside of a little mailbox to be shared. I think it's a lot of fun to do that. Oh, if you guys want to share this video with your friends, that is an awesome way to share my channel and to help grow what we're doing. This is a super easy project. We're going to be drawing in the grasses. So we're going to have some fun doodling the grasses in. We're going to be drawing this lovely wooden support and the mailbox, the kindred spirit mailbox. So there we go. I hope that you are enjoying your Thursday. I am getting ready for a fun weekend. So to draw the mailbox, because I wanted to put that on first, I want to figure out what the mailbox is. And if you look, the mailbox is basically too bright and you can't see it. There we go. The mailbox is basically a U shape with a line coming across the top, and it curves back down at the back end. And looking at this, it's a little bit cattywampus, isn't it? It's a little bit tilted. So I'm going to bring this corner right here, comes down a little bit farther, and I'm going to bring it up and then almost straight across. It tips up just slightly. And then we've got another little box. And this board underneath, right here, let's put some white on this. So here's the U shape that we did. And that line across the back and the curved line. This line right here is lower. And then we have the platform that it sits on. Look at that. You learn how this is all put together by tracing the outline. Look at that. Now I know what lines I need to draw to make this work. And then I see, oh, there's another line here. But you don't see it on the other side, so it is just here in front. And there's a little box right there. It says U.S. Mail. I think that we need to do all we can to help our post office. I've been mailing out all kinds of fun things to people lately. Buying my stamps and supporting our mail service. All right. So I'm going to finish drawing this in. And so now I'm looking at this going, all right, this line is right here. The front one's a little bit longer than the back one. And then it goes across. And then there's the piece of wood that's underneath. And you don't really see the whole thing. And then there's the chunk of wood that's here. And then it goes off the back. Look at that. We have a mailbox. And then I will, on my actual one, I'll write Kindred Spirit because, you know, Kindred Spirit. And then we get to doodle, and we will be doodling in all of the little lines, all the little cracks, because that's fun stuff to do with your pen. There's some knots here and there. See? That's how to draw that in. Now it's going to be sitting in that sand dune. The grasses are going to be going up. And there's the horizon line of the water back there. So that's basically what we're going to draw, guys. It's fun to send out cards and letters to people. It's fun to share our creativity. And in this day, it's a little bit difficult to get out and just walk over next door and hand a card to somebody. You know, we're all being so careful. We want this to get back to being more like a normal situation. So, but there. So now I'm going to draw on my I'm going to draw on the painting. See, but doesn't that feel like it's going to go in right here? We've got our horizon line. I'm going to very lightly, you're probably not even going to be able to see it. The horizon. Try and keep your horizon level. Let's see. I grabbed some little boards to set this up on to make it easier for you to see. All right. Yay, thank you guys so much. And please remember to share the video with your friends. Now we are going to put the mailbox in first. And you can live dangerously as I am, or you can draw it in with your pencil first, just like we did here. Now, because I've already drawn it once on another piece of paper, and I've traced it, so I have reinforced already twice how this is made, or 3 times, because 1, I looked at my piece of art. 2, I traced on the actual photograph to figure out where all the lines go. 3, I drew it once on another piece of paper that won't be ruining my piece of art here. So 1, 2, 3. Look, trace, sketch or draw on something else. And then if you feel confident and you're ready to go for it, you can draw it freehand with a pencil, or just go in with your pen. And if you're not feeling confident on drawing this, you could always rub pencil on the back, lay it down, and trace it on. So I painted the painting, the actual painting. I showed a little video clip how I painted this painting. It was actually painted on Monday's video. And when I looked at it, it was like, oh my gosh, that doesn't look like underwater. It looks like a beach dune. So sometimes things change as you're going along. Yay. All right. I hope that helps. So thank you guys. And we are going to get started on drawing this in now. Let's see. Maybe I'll just put that right there. So I'm going to put my mailbox kind of in the, if I broke this into thirds like this, I want my mailbox over here. And it's close to us, so it can be up higher in the page, because that's another trick of perspective. Things that are higher in the page and bigger are closer to you. Things that are way high in the page and tiny are really far away from you. So if it's bigger, it means it's generally closer to you, especially when it's something that's a smaller thing like this. So here, let's get this going, because I've been chattering for a lot of time, haven't I? So I'm going to go and say, there's the front of the mailbox. The back side of it is a little bit lower. I'm going to say that here's the top, and it's kind of going to the back and then curving down. Doesn't come down quite as far. Well, I guess it did. It didn't have to come down quite as far as this one, but it's good. It's good. And remember, we're doodling this. I'm drawing, but it's doodling too, because I can make this look as cool as I want to and as detailed as I want to, and it's going to get detailed. So I've got the lines for the board that's underneath. I've got my I'm going to put my post in next, I think. It's going to go all the way off the page. And it kind of is a wobbly board. So there we go. And then there's that other plank or board that's over here. I'm going to let that wobble because that's going to give us more of that rough wood look. All right. There's a little tab up here. And there's that sort of box shape right here where it says US mail. And I'm going to put the US mail on that. But if you live someplace else, you can put, post box. I know that the postal boxes in other countries aren't always shaped like this. So US mail. Do you guys in other countries, do you have this type of mailbox? Oh, and I want to get that kindred spirit on there. And now this is actually with those little stick-on letters, and I like that. So I think I'm going to make little boxes. So Lori, thank you very much. I'm very happy that this is making you feel peaceful. And, we have to find our peace where we can. And there's going to be a lot of doodling here, guys. So don't be a frettin'. I think I am going to use my pencil. Where'd I set it? Where'd I set my pencil? There it is. Sometimes when I'm doing lettering, I need to use a pencil. So, neat thing is, this is not on here as a professional. These letters are put on in a crazy sort of haphazard type of way. And the letters are not always kind. They're not always on straight. And they don't have to be perfectly written out either, perfectly drawn letters. And if you draw it on first, you can actually adjust them when you put it in with pen. So kindred spirit. So there we go. I feel like coming in here to this live stream and sharing the artwork, sharing my creativity with you, but I love getting to see your creativity also. Yeah, so many hugs for my whole community, guys. There's so many things that are going on with everyone. And, especially, peaceful, easy procedures and medical treatments for my friends that are out here that need them. That is a big wish. That is a big wish. All right, I'm going to draw in these letters or doodle in these letters. Now, I am not a sign painter or a letter writer. Well, I write letters, but I don't draw letters very often. So my letters actually look very much like they did when I was in middle school, grade school, when we learned how to make block letters. You know, fat letters to go in and doodle inside of. Ooh, maybe we'll do that next week. We'll do some lettering like this, some fat letters, and doodle inside with flowers and birds and bugs and things that we've been learning how to doodle. Because that's the thing I want you to see, is that all of these patterns and doodles that we've been doing, you can do them in all kinds of ways. They don't have to stand alone. You can put them inside of different shapes. I would love to find the kindred spirit who put this little mailbox out there. Yes, I remember the conversation on Monday about volcanoes. That was a crazy conversation. And if anybody wants to have an interesting and fun time about volcanoes, go check out the chat on Monday's video, because it's still up. You can't actually talk in the chat anymore, but you can still see what the chat was all about. All right, we're going to go in and start doodling on this. I think I want to put we're going to put some bushes, grasses. I see some shapes and things in here that I want to focus on. So I think we're going to zoom, 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 zoom. And focus. Yay, it focused. So I'm checking the chat out, guys. So, yep, hugs to everybody. And I'm so glad that this group keeps people on an even keel, helps them to find a little peace in their day. Now, see, I say I'm going to start doing some bushes, and then I go over to the wood. I'm going to work on the grasses and bushes first. Now, I see these guys back here really make me think of beach grass. So I'm just looking at the shapes and doodling around the shapes and across the shapes, letting the color. Oh, look at this beach grass. It looks a lot like seaweed, doesn't it? Like we did on Monday. Jellyfish tentacles, like we did on Monday. See, you can use things that you've done before in new ways. That is something I want you to figure out for yourself too, is that having that flexibility to draw something in that you wouldn't have thought about doing. Oh, look at that. Might not have thought of doing it that way before, but having done the underwater seaweed doodles, I like how that's going in. Yeah, I'm glad that I was on the other side of the Mount St. Helens. I was on the south side of Mount St. Helens when it erupted. I'm going to come down. I see another layer here. And I think that this one is kind of a scruffy tuft. I'm just going to work my layers in as I see them. See, you can move around. Maybe there's a stick or a branch coming off of it. Maybe this is a chunk of wood. like driftwood. There's a split in it. Ha ha ha! Look at that, guys. See? You are the one in control of your world here. There's some grasses growing. Well, that happened when I was a real young little thing. Well, I was in high school. You know, guys, if you're here and you are just enjoying the listening to the chat or listening to me, chatter on and about the artwork that we've got going on or anything, do what makes you happy. That's my goal. My goal is to do what makes me happy and to share what makes me happy with you guys so that you can do things that make you happy. So I see maybe some more grasses. This is a grassy dune, but we've got that log going in there. I want to smooth up that edge just a little. Maybe there's a split in it. This is just out of my imagination. So, my patrons, if you want to doodle on this actual piece of artwork, the photo of this background is over on our Patreon page, on the in Patreon itself, and you should have gotten a little email notification that there was a post. So check it out. You can print this out and doodle it however you want to. And I'm just happy that you're here and that you guys are sharing your time with me. I say there's some more little grasses, shorter grasses down here in front, maybe a couple long ones. Again, I'm just doodling. I like that. We can get some little curly grass in here, some little leaves curling back. Randomly, it doesn't have to be everywhere. And maybe on the ends of a few of these, we're going to go and give it some dots and then make some of those little seed end tassels. And I'm not drawing solid lines here. I am just basically making little lines of dots. Yeah, the Mount St. Helens, because it had been the dome inside, or the bulge on the side had been growing for, well, not a long time, but for a long time. They had all kinds of equipment up on the mountain, and they were sort of prepared, but not. They had the red zone. They had the the area where people weren't supposed to be. I was well outside of that area when we were camping. But it wouldn't have been too great if it had blown out going to the south. So yes, they have time-lapse photos of the mountain blowing out, and then the whole side of it sliding down, and then the eruption of the steam and ash. It wasn't a lava eruption. It was a they called it was a pyroclastic. It was really hot, but it melted all the ice and glaciers. And so the Toutle River flooded and wiped away several bridges. It was a big deal. But in the scheme of things, it's not that huge of a volcano, because Mount St. Helens has blown many different times over the years. You know, there was an eruption of it back in the early 1800s, I believe. It's a lot of fun to look things up like that. But I am looking at my Kindred Spirit mailbox and this lovely beach. And I want to go ahead and put just a hint of ink. I'm drawing really super light. And back here, there's a little bit, but then I see some more grasses and bushes. So I think there's going to be a bush right here. Doodling like this, where you're just finding the shapes in your watercolor, is so relaxing. Well, welcome. Now, is it Jolande or Jolande? Or is it Yolande? But welcome from the Netherlands. Wow. I love that we have people from all over the world here, you know. Everyone finding their creativity. If you are new, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and make sure and turn on your notifications if you want to find out when I do new videos. Now, one of the reasons why I go so early here is that I know in Europe, it's just coming on mid-afternoon or early dinner time, early supper time, tea time. So it's one of the reasons why I do this now. I'm going to say that there might be a bit of a break right there. And maybe that line down here is actually the water line. I like that this type of a scene can be anywhere in the world, really. I have enjoyed a few travels around. I haven't gone to too many different countries yet. I would love to, after all of this crazy is settled down. I'd like to go and do more traveling. But for now, you know, we are taking care of ourselves, our families. I'm just doodling. And I hope that this helps you see that you can just find little shapes in your watercolor and make something happen. Maybe there's a path down below here, and this is actually sort of that cutaway. You know how rocks and things will build up, sand will grow. Sand grows. Sand dunes grow. Sand dunes also disappear. So you've got all kinds of things that are going on here. Maybe a little bit of an edge to my water. Maybe there's a little wave or something, little ripples. It's kind of that slack tide, so it's not going in or going out, so the waves get really small. There we go. There's more grasses right here. Just because I want them. I like those little curls, and I like the tassels on the grasses. So just have fun and just relax. Enjoy the process. Enjoy your time that you're doing things. This is really just a way to calm down and enjoy. So, all right, I have to call out happy birthday to Miss Katie. She is one of my patrons. She is an awesome light in the art community for one of my best friends, for Cinnamon the Art Sherpa. So I am so blessed that Katie chose to hang out with me too, and grateful. So happy birthday. And I'm excited because eventually I am going to get to meet Miss Katie in real life. And that's always fun to meet people from the community in real life. So see how we're doing here? How you can kind of see that grass hill here behind the grasses? And that's what we've got going on here. I'm just saying this is a little bit later in the season. The dunes will go really much more golden colored like this. Oh, not yours? The baby. Oh, yeah. Little baby. Little guy. Thank you. I remember you saying that it was his birthday. But well, you know what? Happy unbirthday. We're going to be like Alice in Wonderland and the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, and it's a happy unbirthday to you, and you, and you. So, happy unbirthday, all my friends. Sometimes we need those birthdays. Oh my gosh. Talking about things happening just out of time. I went to the grocery store yesterday. Now, I go to the grocery store only once a week, so I do a decent shopping, but I do it late in the evening. And the store was pretty much empty. But as I'm walking in, there were Halloween costumes hanging in the grocery store. And there was a whole aisle of Halloween candy. It's only August. And back to school here has not even started. So, but it was definitely not back to school candy. It was Halloween candy. Help me. Help me. No, we are not, I'm not ready for that yet. It's the year is going slow and the year is going fast. So some parts of the year are going really, really slow. And then kind of like when I'm going to make a really long one. Another one. Kind of like when you're a kid and, Christmas can't come fast enough for you. Now it seems like, oh my gosh, Christmas is almost here. They've already put the Halloween up, so that means next week they're going to start Thanksgiving. Let's see. I love that we've got people from so many places. Thank you guys for joining us. And remember that if you're new here, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. I have lots of ways to support my channel, and they're all listed down below in the more information box. I do have Super Chat turned on, but, you know, there's never an expectation that people are going to be doing that. It's just there if people want to. Sometimes people ask. And I do have a PayPal link in my information and my Teespring store. If you're interested, I have all kinds of really fun masks. If you like lemons, I have a pucker up mask that's all covered with lemons that I drew. I'm going to start working on the wood over here. Well, maybe I'll put a little bit of a shadow. That's just putting another line and filling it in, you know. Make that kind of path area there. Sort of there's like some rocks sticking out of it. Maybe a few little roots. I don't know. I see things. I start on an idea and then, well, whoops, sorry. I slid down. I start on an idea and then I move on and start another idea. I kind of go all over the place. And I want you to see you can do that. If something strikes your fancy and you're like, oh, that would be really cool right there, why don't you do it? Do it when you think about it, because sometimes you'll move over, you'll start something else, and then you'll go, oh no, I was going to do something right there. And if I don't do it right then, it's going to, the spot will get marked and you won't be able to do anything with it. I see right here this little space and I want to put a flower in it. I want to put a few flowers down here because, you know, in the dunes, you can have flowers. We get crazy little things. There's vining plants that we have here that look like kind of a wild sweet pea. And I've seen people try and transplant them. They don't transplant well. They really like to stay where they're growing. I'm just putting a few little weedy things here. This mailbox could be done anywhere. You could put this on a picture of a painting of a roadside, like in the mountains. Get some little dried weedy plants here. There we go. Maybe a little pen scratching. I hope that that's a pleasant sound to you. It is to me. Pen scratch on paper like this. It's a productive sound to me. It's a pleasant. There we go. Maybe that's a rock. To make my rocks feel a little more rock-like, I try and get a hard edge and then start coming in and giving it some little shadowy bits. A little bit heavier shadows. Maybe put some shadows behind that flower so then you can see the petals a little better. It's one of the last flowers growing there. Put some nice sharp linear type lines to fill in that rock or that shape. Who knows? It might not be a rock. It might be something else. Feels rather rockish to me. But it's mostly in shadow back here. So I'm just filling it in with some shadows. Ah, yay. Yeah, sharing the channel with your friends. I love that your friend used transparent paper to make the little book. You can do it. You can do those little folded books with any kind of paper. And if you want to make it into a little glue book, you can fold it, fold your book up, and you can paste pictures onto the pages, and then you can start doodling on them. It's a really fun way to start a picture, is maybe tear a picture out of an old National Geographic or an advertisement and tear the picture into like 3 pieces, glue one piece down to the bottom and one piece to the top, and then draw the parts that connect in the middle. That's a really good lesson on how to draw and work on perspective and things like that. Thank you. It's nice to have a soothing type of voice. So it's hard to find countryside in Netherlands. Yeah, because it is a very small country, isn't it? I'm going to move this back over there, and let's see. Or maybe like this. Ooh, we'll set it like this. So I'm not doing a 100% copy of this drawing or this photograph. But I'm getting a few of the lines in because it makes me happy to do that. So you've got your end grain here, which really you see more like little dots and cracks. And I could take a pencil, a colored pencil, or a little bit more watercolor to darken that in more if I want to. There's some cracks in here. And it comes down. See, I live in Washington State. And Washington State is quite blessed with pretty much every single biome and lots of areas of countryside that isn't completely filled with building and houses. You can go for miles and not see, other people's habitations. But then you can, there's areas, of course, that are very built up, very big cities. I live in a town. I remember when this town had less than 100,000 people. I remember seeing signs when this town had like 40,000. Which I know in some places that's huge. That's, But here, now, my town is almost 200,000 people. It's gotten bigger, but it's also still considered small in that if you've grown up here, you pretty much, anywhere you go in town, will run across people who have lived here all their lives also, and you either went to school with them or you know somebody who went to school with them. It's really interesting. I have some friends from grade school and part of my high school career who then moved over to another school, and it ended up being the same school that my husband went to. And they became friends with him before we ever knew of each other. My husband and I. So let's see. I'm going to drop that one down just a little bit. Just because I want to give it a little bit of a jut out here. So I'm just kind of coloring in now with my pen and just drawing lines, doodling. So that is very rural. 143 people. Yeah, it's always a mind shift when you go someplace that was tiny when you grew up, and then it's just gotten humongous and exploded with, oops, my phone has decided that it's waking up. Oh, yeah, I can see that it's waking up because it's 9 a.m. My phone has woken up. I don't let my phone wake up until later. I'd rather not wake up until later too some days. Now this board here, you can kind of see the kerf lines, the saw lines going across. So I'm just going to put the saw lines on. Build your scene by giving yourself some outlines. You can then build your scene. There's a shadow under the edge of the mailbox right here. And this piece right here is a lot darker right up underneath. And what that does, see how that makes it look like that's pushed back under. But then this line here needs to be much darker. And this down here is catching a little bit of light. I need to darken that up just a little bit. Oh look, I like that. This has the little nails and screws that are holding it on. It's a little dented. It actually looks very similar to the mailbox I have out in front of my house. So what was the question? Watching the recap. Yeah, this is... Give yourself places to put doodles, It's like, ooh, I just made that V shape there. I'm going to make a knot here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow around it. This thing has been sitting out there in the weather. When you have a knot, then your grain kind of goes around it also. See how that just makes it look more wood-like? Put the knot on. Leave some places with light and dark. I'm going to kind of put that split coming down. Then there's another knot right there, right above my finger. There was another knot right here. I'm kind of just putting a spiral for the knots. This is not a magic word. We're doing this in honor of kindred spirits. And because my patrons over on Patreon are kindred spirits, I have, I'm putting this one into the patron pile so that I have the opportunity to share the artwork with my patrons. So I do a giveaway usually about the 15th of the month for everyone who's in that month's paid group of patrons. So if you were paid on the 1st of August, then you are in the August drawing. If you paid after that, you'll be in the September drawing. So I have done my drawings 2 months so far. Patrons have had the opportunity to win, and they don't have to do anything special except just be part of my patron group. So it's fun. Yeah, I like that Kindred Spirits is on here too, because it it helps us to remember positivity and joy. Let's see. So this side, under the edge, it's a little bit darker. There we go. Just enjoy the process. Give yourself permission to just try something, and if it doesn't work out, it's okay. Like, I want to narrow this down, and to make that look more narrow, I'm going to put some grasses in right here. Give me a little bit of a shadow. But kindred spirits are anyone who has a positive outlook. And for me, kindred spirits are people who have positive outlooks and have a similar goal of sharing love and spreading joy. So I would like to put something out front of my house, or find someplace that I could post a kindred spirits box like that, and then start putting artwork in it for random strangers to find. I was watching my friend Dawn from Draw Tangles with Dawn. She just hit 25,000 subscribers. I am so proud of her. She has always been of the kindred spirit as far as I'm concerned. She is a lovely human being with a lot of joy in her heart. And she does pattern doodle, pattern doodle, tangles, things like that. She's very inspirational to me, the way she just jumps in and does her artwork and, tries things out. Like I do. I jump in. That's why I say she's a kindred spirit. Now, something that my intention for my channel, so I have decided that I am putting it out there for the world. My intention for my channel is to have my silver play button by Christmas. So I'm putting it out there for the universe. I want my silver play button for Christmas, which means I need to get about 9,000 more subscribers. Yeah, I like the idea of the a kindred spirit mailbox. Okay, I'm going to come up here. I love how that wood is looking. And I don't want to do too much up here to the actual mailbox. I want to put a little bit of some shadows. I don't really want to put a lot of pattern, so I'm going to use some cross hatching in a few spots, or just some straight lines, just to give it a little bit of a feeling of, there's something there. There's a shadow around this, but I'm not going to make it a solid shadow because I can't, I don't want it to be just a total outline. But I do want this front to look like it is a separate piece so that it could open. And I think I'm going to go and put a little curl up here. For the handle to pull it open. Yeah, Draw Tangles with Dawn. Just hit 25,000. So I'm very proud of her. But yeah, my intention for my channel is to get my silver play button for Christmas. And I think that that's totally doable. This is put a little bit of some lines there. This is my happy place, and I want to build it into a happy place for other people. Yeah, Mark he gets up really early. But his workday doesn't actually start until 7:30. But he does a very physical job. He keeps buildings safe and clean for the school district. So you see what I did there? I just gave it a little bit of a shadow up, and then I'm going to come down and do just a few little lines here and there, because this is an older mailbox. It's a little beat up. There's some rusty spots on it. And I think I want to go ahead and take the pencil lines off of the lettering. And to make it look a little bit more, so I draw on my hand, to make it look a little bit more like those letters here, I'm going to put the inside of these letters, I'm going to do sort of a thick black line. So it ends up looking like there's a bit of a margin, maybe? I don't know. I may end up coloring the whole thing in black. But we'll see. We'll see. Ooh, we've got some airplanes flying close. We live not too far from a small airport. There we go, a small airport. And we also live within about 5 miles of an international airport. So we get all kinds of airplanes. But the little prop type planes, those are from the small airport. And our little airport is actually a historic airport. The very first airplane that made it from Europe to the United States actually came from Russia, and they landed at the Pearson Air Park in Vancouver, Washington. Oh, that looks good. I'm happy with that. So U.S. I'm going to put another little outline around that. I'm not putting the eagle on here because that's just madness. I am loving this. I like that there's some light over here. We've got shadows, we've got light, we've got a chunk of wood, driftwood here. We get a lot of driftwood here. Even on the Columbia River, we get driftwood. The Columbia River itself, up where we are, isn't tidal, but at the mouth of the river it is. There we go. What do you guys think? I'm excited. Let's take the tape off and see how it looks. Let's zoom out a little bit. So we're going to pull the tape off and see how this looks. And this tape is artist tape. It is made for not tearing your paper. But since I use tape over again, sometimes it bleeds under, the paint bleeds underneath. And if you don't like that look, you can always take a little bit of white gouache and just paint that out. All right, so there's our reference. And that's what we came up with. What do you guys think? Does that make you happy? It sure makes me happy. Oh, I like that a lot. This would be a lovely one to make into cards. Maybe I'll grab a picture of this and go over to my Redbubble and make a set of greeting cards with it. What do you think? So excited. Thank you guys so much for being here, for chatting in the chat room, for sharing with me your happiness, your joys, your sorrows, and your sometimes confused thoughts. It's okay. We all have all of those things happen. And I am really, let's see, boom, really happy with how this turned out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Remember, click that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified when new videos go up. Remember to share the videos with your friends on your social media and share your artwork with me on all the social medias. Just tag @deliberatelycreative, and I want to see you back here again really soon. So go out and do something creative and take care of yourself so you can take care of those around you. We'll see you. Thank you guys. Bye.